All right, we're about to jump into an idea that I know sounds completely backward at first. The only way to really win an argument is to not have one. But stay with me here. By the end of this, you're going to see why winning the point often means you've actually lost something way more important. I mean, think about it. You've been there, right? You lay out all your facts, your logic is just perfect, you've totally backed them into a corner, and boom, you win. But then there's that weird silence, that tension. You won the debate, sure, but you can just feel that you've pushed the other person away. You didn't convince them, you just beat them.
And that's really the whole point. This isn't about learning some clever rhetorical tricks to use on people. No, this is about shifting our entire goal away from just scoring points in a debate and toward building real long-term influence and goodwill. It's about winning people over, not just winning arguments.
So, to figure out the right way to do things, we first have to understand why the old way is so wrong. Why does arguing, that direct confrontation, almost always backfire? Let's get into the psychology of it. Okay, here it is. This is the absolute core of the problem. When we argue, we think it's a battle of ideas, a battle of logic, but it's not. The second you challenge someone, it becomes a battle to protect their pride, their sense of self. It becomes emotional, fast. And the moment that ego feels attacked, logic just flies right out the window. They're not even hearing your brilliant points anymore. All they're focused on is defending themselves, so they don't feel foolish or wrong. The goal is no longer about finding the truth, it's about saving face. And the fallout from this is just huge. First, you get that instant defensiveness we were just talking about. Then, it actually makes people double down on their own opinion just out of stubbornness. It creates resentment, not real agreement. And trust me, long after they've forgotten the facts of the argument, they will remember how the fight made them feel. You humiliate someone, and you have destroyed any chance of influencing them ever again. This quote just says it all, doesn't it? You can't force someone to believe something. You might get them to shut up, but you haven't actually changed their mind. Deep down, they believe what they believed before. So if fighting is a dead end, what's the alternative? Well, this is where we get to the good stuff. We're going to shift from the problem to the solution, a much smarter, more diplomatic way to actually influence people. Let's give this a name, diplomatic influence. And this isn't some sneaky tactic. It's really an art form. It's about guiding someone to a new idea, not shoving it down their throat. The whole goal is to bring them over to your side while making sure their dignity and their ego stay completely intact. And this whole approach is built on a really simple 3-step foundation. You have to start by genuinely respecting their opinion, even if you think it's totally off base. Then you find some piece of common ground, anything you can both agree on to build a bridge. And only then, once that bridge is built, can you start to gently lead them toward a different way of looking at things. Okay, so that's the theory. But what does this actually sound like in a real conversation? Let's move from the what to the how. All right, if you take away nothing else, remember this. The single most important rule is to never, ever say the words, "you're wrong," or "I'm going to prove you're wrong." The second those words come out of your mouth, it's over. You've just declared war on their ego, and the walls go right up. Just look at the difference here. "You're completely wrong" is a direct attack. It's a challenge. But look at the diplomatic version. That's an interesting perspective. You're starting by validating them. Then you invite them to look at something with you. Could we consider it this way? It turns a fight into a collaboration. Here's another perfect example. "You must do it this way" is a command. It takes away their feeling of control. But when you frame it as an invitation, have you thought about? You're empowering them. You're respecting their ability to think for themselves, which makes them way more open to the idea. Now this is a real game changer. Instead of just making bold statements that they can argue with, ask questions. Questions don't trigger defensiveness. They encourage people to think. It allows them to walk through the logic on their own, and arriving at a conclusion themselves is 1,000 times more powerful than you just telling them the answer. So why are we going through all of this trouble? Let's talk about the real prize here. Because this isn't about winning one little squabble. This is about playing the long game for real, lasting influence. So what's the reward for doing this? Well, it's everything that actually matters. You save your relationships from unnecessary damage. You keep that mutual respect, which is the real currency of influence. People will actually want to listen to you because they know you're not going to attack them. And all of this builds a foundation for people to cooperate with you, not just once, but for the long haul. And that's the bottom line. Real influence isn't about that one satisfying moment where you get to say, I told you so. It's about creating an atmosphere where people want to work with you, where they're open to your ideas, today, tomorrow, and into the future. So as we finish up here, just remember this simple truth. The biggest, most important victories you will ever achieve. They are not won in arguments. They are won by understanding people, by respecting them, and by gently guiding them. They're won by winning hearts and minds without ever starting a fight. So I'll just leave you with this one question to chew on. Think about your life, your work, your family. Where is one conversation coming up this week where you can choose this diplomatic path, where you can focus on winning the person instead of just winning the point?